Welcome back to part two of episode 13 of Smack Talk. Had to break up that first part, didn't expect it to go on that long, but we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw. And the first thing that I want to talk about is something that I found fucking hilarious. I had to rewind it a couple of different times. Uh, there were a couple injuries on Raw, some fake, some real, and the real one is this camera hits one of the fans in the crowd at the very, very beginning of Raw. And this is right after the intro titles. It's doing that kind of thing where the camera zooms past the whole audience and everybody's cheering and all like that. Some guy dressed up as Zack Ryder holds out his arm fast enough to get caught by the camera, and he gets clipped by it, and you just see him just go like, ah! And I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. That was the highlight of the episode of Raw for me.
You sure that wasn't Dace?
Oh no, I'm pretty big, but I'm not that big.
He had
Mom, I'm on TV. Ah!
he had enough of the Ryder merchandise that it could have been Dace, but no, it isn't.
Woo fuck!
I if this guy is watching this podcast, dude, you have to contact me. We got to talk about what happened with that because it was so
Yes.
damn funny.
We want you to do the Numa song too. He's not gonna contact you now. I'm sorry.
Well, it's still up there. I mean, if it was me, I would expect somebody to bust my balls just as much. So, you know what I mean. So I had to touch upon that. I didn't expect us to go a whole lot of time about it, but I just needed to mention that on the show because I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. But then one of the actual storyline injuries was the whole Zack Ryder thing, and for those who didn't see the episode of Raw, Zack Ryder was attacked by Kane, and it went on forever, and it was basically this whole thing where they claimed that he had a broken back, and then now they're saying it's a herniated disc in his back, and then he's basically not going to be at the Royal Rumble, and he might actually be out even sooner, even longer than that, even sooner. Yeah, it makes a whole lot of sense. See, that guy can bust my balls about that.
Numa, yay.
The reasoning doesn't seem to be out there 100% right now, but a lot of people are saying that it might be because he's filming something for the WWE network. But I'm personally just thinking it's their way of getting Ryder off TV when they have nothing for him to do and trying to make us want Ryder more again, and at the same time putting Kane over through the process. It's not a bad idea, but I don't know why they needed to have it happen like this. I was expecting Zack Ryder to be in the Royal Rumble and get a huge pop, not be like one of the Final Four or anything like that, but to be one of those kind of big names people really gun for. And now he's not even going to be in it at all, and it just sucks. But what do you guys think about this? Are you pro this because of the Kane storyline, or do you think that it's not worth it? Or I know what Dace is going to say, so let's just go right to Dace.
I want Zack Ryder 24/7. Damn it! Don't you take him off my television programming. Although Brodus Clay eases the pain, so I guess I can last until hopefully Elimination Chamber he comes back. If not, WrestleMania and he wins the Money in the Bank. Just saying.
Yeah, I just think it's overkill. I was waiting for Kane to pull down his trousers and just cop a squat or something, because it was literally that bad. He was beating the living shit out of the guy. I can't even fathom what, did he piss in someone's cornflakes? What did he do to deserve that? It's ridiculous. There's plenty of easier ways to write someone off TV for a bit, so they can film a TV show.
Break their wrist.
Yeah. I didn't really like the segment too much. It dragged on for far too long. I mean, they could have did some injury angle quicker than what they did. Like, as Mike alluded to, it was just like punch through the audience, and then like it just kind of droned over after a while. I almost like fell asleep during that whole thing. But hey, at least the spot looked cool, as rigged as it was. But
that's something that they're getting used to doing recently, is having Kane drag on his segments forever. It's like 7 segments in a row.
Promos and then beat downs and eating up half the show.
Yeah, and then of course they reran it on SmackDown, the entire thing.
Yeah, the whole match. You had to sit through it again.
They just not have any relevant matches going on SmackDown that they needed to rehash that bullshit.
Well, they were too busy with their quick Oksana pin and Natalia
Not to
farting
mention,
and
maybe the Mark Henry injury, having that match cut off shorter, maybe had something to do with that too. We don't know. But for whatever reason, that was edited in and took up a good portion of the show, in my opinion, too much of the show.
I
that
think
is
they
a
should take Mark
possibility.
Henry out to the woods and shoot him. He's no use
What,
to
because of
anyone
leg
anymore.
problems?
But yeah, I don't know what they're building towards. Is he going to like come back from the injury and continue to feud with Kane? Yeah, I'm hoping that he gets to be at WrestleMania after all the hard work he's done over the past year.
Yeah, I can't see them keeping him off WrestleMania at all. I mean, he's too popular for them to do that. I don't know exactly if they'll give him a match. I could kind of see them doing some sort of like backstage segment like they did last year, but that's kind of a waste for somebody like
Yeah,
Ryder.
'cause, I mean, he wasn't even on TV at all last year, and he got a backstage segment for all the work he's done. I think he deserves to be on the card and be
Yeah,
in some form of match.
Basically, he's like the number 2 guy on Raw. They shouldn't really like keep the guy off of freaking WrestleMania or even keep him out of the Royal Rumble. It was a stupid move.
I'm
Very
kind of
Seriously.
I'm kind of expecting them. And this is kind of getting ahead of myself a little bit, but for the Elimination Chamber, they need a couple matches that aren't going to be chamber matches, and they usually don't add too many on the card. Usually about like 3, but I can kind of see Cody Rhodes versus Goldust being one of them, a Divas match being another one. Um, then you have the 2 Elimination Chamber matches, and then maybe Ryder having some kind of a match, either a match with Kane or some kind of a match with somebody else to start a new feud with somebody afterward. I'm kind of leaning more towards him having a feud with somebody else. But
Jack.
yeah, he could have his. You know what? That's actually probably what they'll do. They'll probably have Jack Swagger defend the United States title against Zack Ryder at the Elimination Chamber. And that way
Yeah.
you give both of those who don't need to be in the Elimination Chamber match itself, which leaves up John Cena, Miz, Kane, R-Truth, and 2 other people. I don't know. Maybe, I guess CM Punk
Punk.
and Chris Jericho, I guess, would be the other ones. Maybe Dolph Ziggler instead of Jericho. I don't know.
Coffee sakes.
Or even Del Rio, if he comes back, could probably be in
Del
the
Rio is a
chamber too.
possibility, yeah. I don't know. That's we'll talk about that when it comes to the Elimination Chamber. But I'm kind of expecting Ryder to be back. Maybe the Raw after Royal Rumble, which is next Raw. So
3 woos for 1 Tommy. Woo, woo, woo.
There's one thing I just want to say about this, just to finish it off. Please, no more Kane beating on Ryder. I don't want to see him in a hospital bed, half comatose, and then Kane beating the shit out of him and throwing him through the floor again.
not even
With the
if Nick
bedpan.
Foley shows up and has Mr. Sacco to try to cheer him up,
Please, no.
and somebody hits him with a bedpan.
Oh,
Well,
seriously.
that leads us to another funny thing that happened on Raw, and completely unintentionally funny, just like the guy getting hit by the camera. And this was Cena's angry face.
Oh boy.
Tina's cum face.
This was so goddamn funny, and it was funny on the level of the acting in commercials, where it's so friggin' bad that it makes it that much more entertaining than if it would have been good in the first place. Because if it would have been a good segment, it would have just been like, okay, now he's quote unquote embracing the hate. I get it, but I don't really care. But the fact that he did this and it was so stupid made it so I was just like, I fucking love this. Because it was so goddamn over the top. And I mean, the wrestlers aren't, Academy Award winning actors. So we can't really criticize them too much. We have to have a little bit of suspension of disbelief. But Cena's had some, albeit bad movie, but some movie experience, and you think he could have done a little bit better than that. He looked like he was constipated and looking at the camera and pissed off.
Yeah, it's like a over the top, cartoony, I'm gonna turn into the Hulk or shit a green turd sort of face. Like all that was missing was like this like steam that comes out of like a bull snout from cartoons or something like that, and then like they come out the ears and eyes turn red or something. It was
You know
me
what
and
the
my brother
face?
were in stitches when we seen that.
You know what the face reminded me of? The angry Miz girl.
You know
It
what?
was
That's
the
Except a
same
little more
thing.
masculine,
Yeah.
the
just
girl,
a
right?
little bit more.
If you put
The
John
girl.
Cena with long hair and then sit him in the crowd, it would be the same thing.
Cena no get cheers. Cena smash puny Kane.
So if that was their big Ooh, Cena's embracing the hate. We can't wait until this match. I mean, oh man.
What was
Well,
he embracing? The fact that Zack, he looked like he was mad. What was he embracing? Hitting a microphone, slapping a
He was
microphone at his.
embracing fiber.
He was mad at Eve for leaving and not inviting him to go with them to the hospital. That's what he was hateful for.
I'm pretty sure he was pissed at Stu, the camera guy, hitting that fat guy at the opening of the Raw.
Staring a mud hole through him, just how dare you hit a paying fan?
Yeah, goddamn
I'm
you, Stu!
for
I
the
talk to
people,
you every week.
goddammit.
I talk to you every week,
Rise
Stu.
above hate. Rise above hate.
So that's going to be if we start seeing Cena do this heel turn and everything, and this is going to be what we are looking forward to. Then this is going to be as funny as the crazy R-Truth heel turn. If we keep seeing a lot of the Cena angry faces over the next couple of weeks, but
The difference between that, though, is at least R-Truth was like intentionally funny. Cena seems like the type who's just gonna come off accidentally funny, which probably make it 10 times more funny.
then he's going to cut a
Think
promo
so.
about how he's going to rise above all the people making fun of his face.
Yeah, throw that in there. Oh, that'd be
Week
great.
after week, I come out here and I act like I'm angry.
Gonna rise above the people's eyebrow.
So we're going to
That's
go in the next part and talk right about the John Cena versus Kane match in the Royal Rumble itself and start getting into the Royal Rumble predictions. So check out part 3 right after this one.